Hi, everyone. My name's Jean McDonald, and I do transitions coaching. I help people that are new to caregiving learn how to take care of themselves as well as give them tools they need in order to be a good caregiver. And lastly, I've lived a while. I've got 65 years of life experience. And in these videos, I'd like to share some tools and techniques and things I've learned so that I can take my long journey and allow you to take some shortcuts. So today is video one of a Psychology Today series on 10 ways to cope with big changes. And number one from Psychology Today is acknowledge things are changing. Whether a change is intentional, most likely if you're not aware that things are changing, then the change might be unintentional, or you could just be growing, becoming more self-aware, more uh, wise on how to do things. So sometimes we feel that tension in our lives and we don't understand it. And what's happening is you're changing, your situation is changing, those around you are changing. You might just be aging. In my world, a lot of people are at that point where age-related disease is an issue. So, what do you do when you acknowledge change or even sense that change is occurring? Well, for me, if I'm having trouble figuring out the change, like when I first moved here to Port Angeles, Washington, it's a beautiful place. I came out here about 2 years after my husband passed away, and I had trouble figuring out what I was going to do with my life. I made a physical change, but then things had changed in my life. My husband was no longer there with me. My business changed because my late husband was helping me with my former business. And I moved to a different location and didn't really know what I was doing. But what I did do was give myself time. Sometimes that is, we rush ourselves through change. We expect to know everything that's going on and the why and the how, and we don't allow ourselves enough time to process. So what I did when I moved out here is I didn't push myself. I thought, well, what are some things I've wanted to do or things that I used to do when I was younger that I might like to try again? So I took up tennis. And then in my area, because we're older, pickleball is really popular. I always wanted to take an acting class because I was very shy, very introverted. And so I went to the local community college and took an acting class. And it was so fun being around that young high school, early college energy. It was real invigorating and fun because we were all in the same place, no matter our age. I went back to playing music and did instruments that I was familiar with and instruments that I was not familiar with, like playing an electric bass in a country band, which, by the way, I still do. So it gave me a chance to explore who I am now, who I want to be, what do I really want in my life? And it took me actually a couple years to really kind of come into my own. And after those 2 years, then I was ready for a new relationship, who's still in my life. Hi, Jerry. I was ready for new friendships as well as still nurturing those from where I lived before. And I was just ready to to try something new. And that's when I began exploring coaching on a deeper level. I've been certified, I think 5 different coaching programs, but I've really come into my own as far as the type of coaching I do and the type of change that I can help others through. So, with that, I hope this gave you some ideas about some ways that you can acknowledge that you're going through change and not rush the process of knowing exactly what you're supposed to do, what you'll end up doing. It'll all happen. So be patient with yourself, love on yourself. My website is carewithoutdespair.com. That's for my caregiving support group. And I also have my speaking information at jeanmcdonald.com. Bye for now.